that his mother and his father were very, very strong people, and Sekou was a very, very strong man. That is a legacy, that can be passed on to the youth as they study the life of Sekou Odinga. The message: be strong, be upright, be fearless. Sekou, like Brother Frank said, underwent hours and days of torture, and you got to be very, very powerful. You got to be very, very strong in your spirit. Sekou withstood all that and didn't snitch, didn't tell nobody. Sekou doing 33 years. You got to be strong to do 33 years without losing your mind. Some people might be entitled to inform on other people and organizations. Sekou didn't do none of that. Like many of us, in the movement, he came up in the streets. That's a street code. At an early age, around seventh grade, he was getting into trouble. A lot of us can relate to that. Went to 700 schools, and later on, acquired political consciousness. As he relates in his biography, in Comstock Penitentiary, uh, um, there was a great KKK presence, and the racism was thick. You understand, as cement, around that. The racist atmosphere and the prison guards, created a great consciousness in Brother Sekou. That's the type of environment which can cause some people to become coons, Uncle Toms, and collaborationists, but other people it wakes up that political consciousness. So he learned about the teachings of Brother Malcolm, joined organizations, and did much, much, much political work. He was a great worker. In the community for our people. Opposing police brutality, homelessness, job, economic insecurity, education, and many of the issues that are in the hearts of our people. Engaged in many heroic acts. We talked about the liberation of Sister Assad Secure, where Sekou stuck up the penitentiary, said, free our sister, and a great amount of his work in later life was focused on freeing political prisoners. Like Brother Frank mentioned, he formed the NEPPC, which is the Northeast Political Prisoners Coalition. So a great deal of his time and energy in the later part of his life was directed toward freeing political prisoners. This was one of his very, very heartfelt concerns, and so we say that one of the ways that we can commemorate Brother Sekou is to fight to free our political prisoners. We had a funeral, janazah prayer, which means funeral, for Brother Sekou, and people from all over the country came. I mean, it was bunches and bunches and bunches of people, gave great respect to the brother. Went out to Fernlawn Cemetery where Brother Malcolm is buried, and that's where Sekou is laying now, Ferncliff Cemetery, miles and miles and miles north of New York City, and it was like a family reunion.
Yes, and I realized that all through his life he expressed self-determination.
Correct.
So to the very end, and that's admirable because people deviate. People decide that the work is too challenging, it's too hard, and they're gonna do something else. But Sekou loved his people, and Sekou went through his own personal experiences regarding racism and how he need to deal with it, and how he would decide he's going to fight. And he understood the importance of being part of an organization. And that's why he formed the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition when he came home. because he came home and knew that he couldn't forget those who were still behind bars. So with the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition, that work continues, and we understand our duty moving forward. And we ask that you share this podcast episode with as many people as possible. Like, subscribe. Let's build a relationship. Encourage others to write to political prisoners. Don't let them die in prison. Because, Sekou in the interview was talking about, political prisoners not feeling like they're getting as much support as they should. They need assistance with their legal work. They need assistance with providing for their family where they need help. And that's our responsibility because they are freedom fighters. They captured freedom fighters. They're political prisoners. They're prisoners of war. We have to understand that. Because Sekou in the interview said that the problem that we're faced with now, they were organizing against. And we have to look at that like, oh, okay, there is always something that can be done. There's always a role that we can accept regarding how we deal with our oppression. And Sekou expressed that, more than just ideas. He went into action. He told others that they can do something, and they took action. So, we have to be respectful of the correct way, and that's to do the work. That's to carry out those ideas. That's to let others know that they have to be respectful too, and they have to carry out those ideas. They have to attend functions. They have to donate. They have to learn more about political prisoners. They have to make time to write to political prisoners, build those relationships, and take it from that point on. Because that's what Sekou Odinga was about. And now, as we move forward with him being an ancestor, we do what we need to do during the time that we have to do it. Right? Let's not ignore that fact. Let's accept our role, and our responsibility. And for those of us involved, be inspired to continue the work. I know that the work is appreciated, is needed. It inspires others to do more if they're not doing more. It inspires others to get involved if they're not involved. Because when you raise the question, you could be a political prisoner. They have to think about that, right? You might be a parent at a school and you want better things for your child's school, and that might lead to you having to organize people. And you're challenging the political apparatus by doing that because it's about the amount of funds that your school receives, and that's a political decision. And when you challenge that, depending on how intense it becomes, you may be a political prisoner. So and it's a possibility of that, depending those in power how they feel regarding their work. So we have to be very realistic about the concept of political prisoners, regarding how quick it can be and how much is counting on you to change current conditions. Because if we don't change it, then we leave it up for another generation to put to deal with those problems. So now, if it's not eradicated, that their lives be affected. So, what's your fondest memory of Sekou Odinga?
Well, I prayed next to Sekou Odinga. I experienced fasting during the month of Ramadan with Brother Sekou. Sekou was not just a Jew or Muslim, Sekou was a brother who frequented the masjid, and we had many talks, walking together, and just the strength and his commitment, and his love for the people, which created the dedication and the commitment in him, to continue the work, and one of the great lessons from Sekou's life is that our political prisoners is not just another one of the many issues that Black people have, but it has to be elevated as one of the priority issues, of our nation. When we look at the monstrosity, of this system and the great atrocities that it has committed throughout the centuries, This makes us realize that those who stood and fought against these are our champions. These are our giants, and we must respect and appreciate them and, learn and study them, study what they said, what they did, you know, and like I was saying, I had the honor and the privilege, of rolling with the brothers on certain times, and just the honor of being in his presence, and being cool with him, you know. This has made a very, very great impression on my life, and so it makes me think in terms of doing what I do better and better and better, and to try to be 200%, of who I am, to reach out, and to improve myself in every way, and to tell other people about Sekou and let them know that they need to rise up, and stand up and represent for what is right.
Absolutely, brother. I think that, I met Sekou when he first came home. I think that was about 9 years ago,
Mhm.
and I was introduced to him by Coltrane Chimaranga, one of the founders of the December 12th movement. And as we speak right now about the December 12th movement, we want to honor Viola Plummer too with the
Yeah.
work that we commit ourselves to. So, straight ahead to that and be like her, fight like her, live like her, love our people. Sekou Odinga and Paulo Plummer, they go way back. They were
Right.
professional
They were
revolutionaries.
charged trying to free Sekou Odinga.
And,
Was one of the charges.
we have to understand that powerful relationship. And those are powerful relationships we need to emulate. You my brother, you my comrade, we in this struggle together. What I have is yours and what you have is mine. And it becomes ours. And from that, we move forward and decide that this is how we're going to advance our people. And not only with ideas, but actions, right? Because it starts with that idea, but those ideas have to find their ways in the activity, actions. You have to get busy. You have to be where the fight is. You have to engage in the fight. And you got to utilize the resources available to make that happen. And I understand that relationship that I built with Sekou because of Coltrane Shimaranga had allowed me to understand what it is to be a professional revolutionary, what it is to make a commitment and sacrifices. And, it was the work that I committed myself to that allowed Sekou to give me other responsibilities. I built up that trust based on my level of commitment. And that's something that I understand. You just don't give somebody trust loosely, right? You see what they're capable of doing. You see if they're reliable or not, and you take it from that point on. Because everybody can talk a good one, and then when things have to happen, you can't rely on them. Sekou knew he could rely on me, and I thought I could rely on him, which I could, and that was something that had a profound effect on me. And so now, at my age of 50, at having a number of years being involved in an organization, being involved in organizing people, I understand the legacy I'm a part of because Viola Plummer and Sekou Odinga, that family, right? Our blood is our politics. And I think that we have to understand the seriousness of that. Because now, when you look at the next generation coming, you look at somebody who's just being born or somebody who has a few years in life. And now you ask yourself, this person is recognized as a black person. This person is recognized as a person who can be oppressed because the oppressor says that this arrangement of things benefits them. We have to know how much more fight we got to put up to make sure that that child's life is a whole lot better than what it should be. What you had to say, brother?
Yeah, I just think it, brother. It's been a cold January. Brother Sekou left here last Friday. Monday on Martin Luther King's birthday, Sister Viola made her transition. And she was a real, real warrior. Sister Viola, would stand up to anything, wasn't afraid of nothing. You know, um, she related that when she first, the day that she opened up Sister Place, there used to be a lot of gangsters and hoodlums hanging out in front of the joint. Some of them I know, and the gangster and hoodlum, when she told them, y'all can't hang here, you know, one of the leaders of them, Brother Watt, told them, "Oh, that's Viola Plumber. Y'all, get up out of here." And they did. Sister Viola, was a great teacher. If you go into the political education class and your stuff was raggedy, you talking food talk, that would get straightened out. So she would have you showing up, getting down with your study, getting the true essence, of what you was reading, to get some knowledge under your cap, to fight against the evil of the system. Sister Viola was a fighter for reparations. One of the things that she used to say was, to the system was up against the wall. This is a stick up. Give us back what you owe. Something like $777 trillion now. And she ignited the reparations struggle, wherever she went, and many, many people were influenced by her fight for reparations. She was struggle against fascism, which means, an oppression, by the bourgeois class, and so, she emphasized and she taught and gave an example of being strong. We talk about the strength of Sekou, and we talk about the strength of Sister Paola. To stand up to fascism. Fascism talks about a strong man oppressing the people, but Sister Viola, you understand, led us to be strong to oppress fascism, and not let it stomp us in the dust, but stomp it in the ground. So she left a very, very great legacy for the people in terms of struggle, and we're gonna really, really miss her, and she organized self-defense for our people against those who would try to harm us, to visit us with violence. She organized self-defense, stand up sister. Like I say, January has been a very, very cold month. We recently lost, before that, we recently lost Matulu, Ed Poindexter, and a few others. So, we say that, the young people out there must replace those that we lost. You must step into their shoes, and continue to fight for the liberation of our people.
Absolutely, and can't forget Michelle McGee. Not too long after his release, he made a transition. So those brothers and sister, they did their work. They did incredible work. They stood the test, right? They endured. Like when we talk about them and we talk about the history of the Black liberation struggle, we have to talk about professional revolutionaries, people who wake up and made a decision that I want to fight for my people's freedom, and regardless of the consequences, right? Because there's more than just the consequences of you being killed and you being incarcerated. It's also the consequences of the relationships that you have with family members, right? They might not share your political views, and now that puts a strain on those relationships, right? They don't understand your commitment, and that puts a strain on your relationship. So all those things happen, and you have to be willing to deal with the consequences of that, because we love our family, right? We want to come around them. We want to be able to laugh and joke. But the reality is, how long can you laugh and joke when your people are oppressed? Police terrorism is striking hard. You have food deserts. You have lack of affordable housing. You have a number of problems that are in existence and wasn't in existence for quite some time. So you have to make a decision about how you want to deal with it. Sekou said that what we're fighting for now is what they were fighting for then. So he understood his role. He understood what he had to do when he looked at his children and their children, he had to say, what can I do to make life better for them? And in 2024, when we talk about Sekou Odinga, when we talk about his body of work, we have to ask ourselves, I need to follow this example. My love needs to be expressed as such, because if not, then is it really love or is it infatuation? Right? The love is next level. Love is deeper than infatuation. Anybody can be pleased or buy something, right? But to have love for something or someone, you're taking things further, and you're willing to put everything on the line to express that. And in 2024, that's what we have to do. So we really honorable to Sekou Odinga. We're being involved with the work to free U.S. held political prisoners. We'll do what needs to be done. We'll contact the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition and we'll ask them, how can I be down? What can I do to support the work of Sekou Odinga? How can I be used? I have talents that I'm ready to offer you to assist in the work. You know, we need writers. We need people who know how to do video editing. We know people who are willing to come to a particular location during a demonstration or some work in the community. If you a community organizer, we could use your assistance. We could use your talents. There's a number of things we can do together, right? Because if you truly respect a brother like Sekou Odinga, a sister like Viola Plumber, you'll find out what organizations they were with, and you'll support those organizations. You'll contact the December 12th movement at 718-398-1766.
Repeat that.
It's 718-398-1766. And you say, how can I help? I read about Miss Viola Plummer, the chairperson, and I want to know how can I accept the work that she was involved in. And you'll do the same with the Northeast Political Prison. I heard and I read about Sekou Odinga, and I want to know how I can support his work, because I have children and I have people I love, and I don't want them to deal with these problems that I've been dealing with all my life. So, you know, when I think about Sekou Odinga and I think about the work that he put in, and I think about the opportunities he gave me, which was to advance my understanding of things, I know what I have to do from this point on. And another thing I learned from Sekou is that he was not afraid to say that he didn't know something. He was not afraid to look you in your face and let you take leadership on something. And he wasn't afraid to follow your leadership. He'll talk to you and hear what you have to say. And from that point on, then he'll get back to you about what decision he's willing to make. But you know that has to be earned, right? You reward somebody or you give somebody something based on the work that they put in. So you know, our show is coming to an end. We give you strong 30 minutes, you know, but contact 718-398-1766 about Paula Plummer's funeral. So that number again, that number is 718-398-1766.
Typically, we're saying
that information. That you get more information from that contact right there. All right, brother, you got
tentatively we're saying the funeral on the 26th and the repast on the 27th. But like Brother Frank said, all that number, you know, in case, you know, there's changes in plans, 718-398-1766, you know, so those who are situated close to New York and folks from out of state, you know, come and, pay final respects to Sister Viola Plummer, you know, and her whole life was about work. That was the air she breathed. You understand? That was the food that she had. It was all about doing the work for our people. You know, that's what she was about. You know, so inshallah, come on out and give the final respect to our sister, our great queen.
Yes, peace and love, straight ahead. And the last final word for those who are tuning in on Instagram. You know, tonight at 8 p.m. What's happening on WBAI? They salute Comrade Sekou Odinga. Again, that's tonight on WBAI. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can call in for the conversation at 212-209-2877. Again, you can call in for that conversation on WBAI tonight at 8 p.m. Phone number is 212-209-2877. That's tonight at 8 p.m. All right. Peace and love, everybody. And y'all know what's the call?
Free them all.
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 Be like